All right, get ready because we are diving deep into the Murkmire Malevolence today.
From Keys from the Golden Vault.
Yeah, from Keys from the Golden Vault. So got your notes, got your source books.
Ready.
Perfect. I've got an expert DM here who's going to help break down this heist adventure with a Lovecraftian twist.
Yeah.
It's like museum heist meets creeping dread.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be sharing some DM tips, anecdotes, maybe from our own games if we've run this, and then some homebrew ideas to make this one really unforgettable for your players.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into this one. It's not your typical adventure.
Right? Yeah, it's not every day that you get to blend the thrill of a heist with this, like, chilling atmosphere of cosmic horror.
Exactly.
Now, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't run or played the Murkmire Malevolence yet.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us DMs, let's get into it. What were your first impressions when you read through this adventure?
So the first thing that grabbed my attention was that ticking clock.
Yeah.
It's like right out of the gate. You know, it's a very time-sensitive scenario.
Yeah.
So the players need to retrieve this mysterious egg, the Murkmire Stone, and they need to do it before it hatches into something truly nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking Lovecraftian horror. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
No. So that sense of urgency really just grabs you, I think. And combined with Dr. Cassie Daniels' like palpable desperation to prevent this potential catastrophe, it really sets a compelling stage right from the beginning.
Yeah.
It really pushes the players to think on their feet and make quick decisions.
Oh, absolutely. That pressure cooker atmosphere is definitely one of the adventure's strengths, I think.
Sure.
And I love how it presents the Varkenbluff Museum of Natural History as this seemingly mundane location that hides this, like, creeping sense of unease.
Totally.
Like, on the surface, you've got your typical exhibits, you know, ancient pottery, fossilized ferns, maybe a slightly dusty animatronic Allosaurus.
Right. Classic natural history museum.
But beneath that veneer of normalcy, there's this undercurrent of something. Dot off.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, you're walking through and you see all this familiar stuff, but there's this, like, underlying tension.
Yes.
Like, something's not quite right here. And as the DM, I think that's one of the really fun things to play with, right?
Sure, yeah.
Is you can start dropping these subtle hints of the strangeness to come. You know, just little things to kind of unsettle the players even before the true horror is revealed.
It's a brilliant contrast, though, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you've got the excitement of the heist.
Yeah.
You've got the social dynamics of the gala.
Her.
And then this gradual unveiling of this, like, eldritch truth.
The eldritch truth behind the Murkmire Stone.
Yeah.
And as a DM, I think you can have a lot of fun playing with those layers, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm already picturing myself describing the museum lights flickering subtly as the Murkmire Stone pulses with energy.
Oh.
Or having the players, like, overhear hushed whispers amongst the gala attendees about strange occurrences in the museum's history, you know?
Yeah, love it. Those subtle touches can really set the mood, I think.
Yeah.
And build that anticipation. And speaking of the gala, you know, I think it's a fantastic opportunity to showcase, like, the social side of D&D, right?
Yes, oh, totally.
The gala attendees table in the book, I mean, it provides a wealth of, like, colorful NPCs for the players to interact with.
Yeah.
And each with their own little quirks and motivations. So it's a chance for them to gather information, maybe forge alliances, or even just, like, sow chaos among the guests if they're feeling chaotic.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with that. And let's not forget about curator Ulda Arkin.
Oh, yeah, she's a fun one.
She's a character that I think is ripe with potential for conflict.
Oh, for sure.
Her dislike for Dr. Donnell adds this interesting wrinkle to the story.
Yeah, it does.
And the fact that her clutch contains crucial information and keys just makes her a prime target for the player's attention.
Right. Yeah, I mean, whether they're going for a stealthy pickpocket maneuver or a more confrontational approach, she's definitely someone they're going to have to deal with.
Right. And it all depends on your player's style.
Exactly.
Some groups, like, might relish the opportunity to blend in with the crowd, use their charm and deception skills to navigate the social complexities of the gala.
Yeah, the suave types.
Others might prefer a more direct approach,
Yeah.
like creating a distraction
Oh, yeah.
to draw attention away from their target.
Yeah, that could be fun.
And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about this adventure is that it caters to a variety of playstyles.
It does.
Whether your group leans towards stealth, social interaction, or good old-fashioned combat.
Yeah. Speaking of combat, Let's not forget about the museum's security measures.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not be as high-tech as you'd expect in, like, a modern heist film or something.
Right, right.
But they still pose a significant challenge for the players. We've got strategically placed alarm spells, animated statues that patrol certain areas, and of course, those ever-watchful guards.
Oh, yes. Those alarms, I think, are particularly interesting.
Yeah, why is that?
Because they're not always placed where you'd expect them.
Yeah.
Like, it really encourages the DM to think about the logic of security, placing them in ways that force the players to consider every move.
Yeah, it's not just about, like, avoiding those obvious tripwires.
Right.
It's about understanding the patterns of the guards, the placement of the alarms, and finding those little gaps in security that the players can exploit.
Right. Okay, so let's say the players have made it past the gala. They've scoped out the museum, and they're ready to get their hands on the Murkmire Stone. What advice would you give to a DM who's running this part of the adventure for the first time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the key is to really emphasize the ticking clock.
Okay.
Like, the players need to feel that sense of urgency,
Uh-huh.
that every minute wasted brings them closer to that egg hatching.
Right.
And unleashing, something terrible.
Yeah. And I think you can do that by, describing the Murkmire Stone pulsing with increasing intensity.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe having Dr. Danelle send these, increasingly frantic messages to the players, reminding them of the stakes.
Right. And don't be afraid to throw in some curveballs. Oh, of course. Maybe a guard changes their patrol route unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Or an alarm spell malfunctions.
Ooh, love that.
Triggering a chain reaction that forces the players to improvise.
Yeah, gotta keep them on their toes. It's all about keeping the players on their toes.
Exactly.
Right. Challenging their assumptions, forcing them to think creatively.
And let's talk about those hiding spots mentioned in the adventure.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
The museum is full of potential places for the players to lay low.
Uh-huh.
Whether they're waiting for the right moment to strike or trying to evade pursuit after triggering an alarm.
Right, and each hiding spot, I think, comes with its own kind of risks and rewards.
Like, the cleaning supplies storage might seem like a safe bet, but it's also a common area for staff to frequent.
Right. You're bound to run into somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the privies offer a bit more privacy.
Yeah.
But they also come with, certain olfactory challenges.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
And then there's the attic and the basement, both of which offer a greater degree of seclusion, but also come with their own unique dangers.
Yeah. The attic, for instance, is mentioned as being home to a family of giant rats.
Oh, yeah.
Which, could make for a fun encounter.
That's fun.
If the players are discovered.
Uh-huh.
And the basement, well, let's just say that the adventure hints at something lurking down there.
Oh.
That might be even more unsettling than a few oversized rodents. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a perfect cliffhanger to end part 1 on. We'll delve into those basement mysteries.
Yes.
And more in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
So until then, dear listeners, we encourage you to think about how you would handle those hiding spots. Which ones would your players gravitate towards?
Yeah.
And what creative uses might they find for those seemingly mundane locations?
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you next time.
See you then.